Welcome to Up to Speed, Baker Tilly's automotive industry podcast. I am Mike Motter, your host and a dealership principal at Baker Tilly. Our podcast serves as a hub for the automotive industry, featuring conversations with industry leaders on topics related to tax, accounting, and operations of retail dealerships. We deliver fresh insights to your inbox the third Wednesday of the month. To catch up on past episodes, visit our website at bakertilly.com/dealerships or check out the Baker Tilly US YouTube channel. So we are in our fifth episode of our AI series. Our first four episodes dealt with the overall understanding of AI in the dealership space, utilizing AI in the back office, the overall sales side of the business, looking at opportunities in the variable operations side, as well as the fixed operations side of the business, in which AI could provide some benefits and efficiencies. And September's episode was on the legal concerns surrounding the use of AI and things that you need to take into consideration when you bring AI into your dealership. Today is our final episode in our AI series, and we are going to dive into something that many are not thinking about, or if you have, you're trying to figure out what is the best way to navigate this concern with AI. Our episode today, we're going to be looking at blocking AI crawlers and bots from your websites. So we have an exciting episode lined up for you today. Joining us today is Adam Gillen from Savvy Dealer. Adam is a recognized expert in automotive business technology and digital marketing with 25 years of industry experience. As founder of Savvy Dealer and an architect of the Agile Dealer website platform, Adam has helped hundreds of dealerships modernize their marketing strategies and improve ROI. He is a Google partner and respected industry speaker, known for his expertise in technology trends, negotiations, and software development. Adam resides in Tampa, Florida with his family. And Adam, you've got a pretty good sized family, don't you?
I do. I've got 6 kids and the first grandchild on the way.
All right. Well, it's great to have you on our topic today. And it's funny because, we're here today to talk about how dealers, they're talking a lot about AI and how they can use it to make their operations more efficient and their dealership more profitable. And I don't recall where it was, but it was brought up to me. Your name was brought up and said, you know what? I need to talk to Adam because he knows about AI and has some knowledge in this space.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to kind of go through what we found, honestly, by mistake, as we were just doing our own research project.
Well, I'm glad to hear. You and I go way back. We've been working together for a long time, so it's great to have you on this episode. So when we talk about dealerships, one of the things we're looking today at blocking AI, and I know there's been issues and concerns with dealers having AI kind of scrubbing their websites and grabbing employees and grabbing inventories and prices and stuff like that. But really, how many dealership websites block AI?
So, and we kind of discovered this by mistake as we were doing our own research, and just we were in the middle of a project trying to figure out what the landscape, how the landscape has changed in the last 6 years. So we were trying to get like accurate inventory counts, make sure the addresses were all still correct, and we're using a lot of AI tools and AI, Gemini, ChatGPT, just a whole bunch of them. And what we found, which was shocking, is probably about 30% of dealer websites completely block AI and allow no access to their website. Then there's about 50% that just either block how many pages can be visited, or they block the AI, the way the system's designed. The AI can't find any information on the pages when we ask it to, because it's designed for consumers to see it and Google bots, and it's not friendly at all for AI. So the AI couldn't tell me anything about the store from their website, which was shocking to us, because we're just seeing a lot of people using AI now in all shapes and forms.
Well, I think you look at it today, you go on Google and you do a search, and the first thing that comes up is AI brought up this information. So, I use AI every day, doing various different things to help out. But so you're probably talking 80 to 90% of the dealerships block AI in some aspect?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the purpose, or what are the benefits dealers are achieving from blocking AI from their websites?
So, I mean, and you can look at this as a similar argument to when Google first came out, where Google was crawling and using people's resources to visit their websites to rank them in search. Before Google, you had to actively submit to Yahoo and you controlled what you submitted or didn't submit to search engines. So at the time Google came out, there was another like uproar of why are we letting these computers visit our website for free and using our resources? So there is a little bit of that, but really the problem is because of two things. One, we've designed websites to block nefarious bots that aren't Google, and AI is getting caught up in that. And the second thing, and this is the more nefarious, that's the innocent mistake. The more nefarious thing is many of the caching companies or some of the caching companies that website providers use, they're looking at an opportunity to almost put like a toll bridge between your website and AI. And they're trying to push this argument that, look, it's bad that AI comes and customers never visit your website. And I agree, it is bad. I would prefer if they come to our website and get the
Right.
information directly from us. But I don't, if we don't give them the information, they just go somewhere else. Like that's the scary thing about AI. If you don't let Google crawl your site, that's fine. They just won't, you won't show up in Google search, which is a crazy thing to think of today. But when it started, many people thought that was the right move.
So you're telling me that if I don't allow AI to scrape or look at my website, I may never come up in searches in the future?
Yes. So
Oh,
right now, AI is mostly focused in, most people who are using AI are interested in researching what they should be buying and trying to make sure that they don't get ripped off in F&I. Like those are the two main uses. But the next stage for AI is, where do I buy my next car? And AI is looking at the contents of the home pages, the about us, and eventually the inventory to see if you're a good match for the car they think you're going to buy. And what we've seen with AI is when they get blocked from information. So, for example, ChatGPT and Google are competitors. So, ChatGPT really struggles to get information from Google, like Google reviews. So, they do roundabout, they don't want to admit necessarily that they can't get that information. So, they don't say that directly, but they're visiting alternative websites, alternative sites to get the information. And then, like AI does so wonderfully, it's 100% confident in the wrong answer it's giving us.
that is
And
true.
yeah, it's so fun. And you know, we think, okay, sometimes that's a mistake, but sometimes it's been told, don't admit you can't get the real information, work around it. So, you know,
Okay.
I had to, yeah. So sorry.
So no, but I mean that's interesting. If dealers are blocking AI from getting their inventories and knowing what services are providing down the road. I mean, maybe not right now, it's not a huge issue, but down the road, it could be a massive issue because they won't come up on any search that somebody
Yeah.
goes. And I gotta assume, I mean, I don't know what percentage of buyers are using AI today, but I gotta assume it's a good amount, but
It,
it's gonna continue to increase.
yeah. So the numbers we've got is 40%. And that
Okay.
40% is largely in the research phase, which really most dealerships are not involved in too heavily. So the impact is not as great if they're just ignored in the research phase. The actual buying phase, people are still using traditional Google, the websites, third-party systems, that sort of thing. Um, yeah, the real danger too is if you're, so we've done some test searches and it's found the previous owner of the dealership that happened to still be listed on Better Business Bureau. So it's not even the right name of the store or the wrong address. And you're like, how can I get it that wrong? It's all over Google Maps. It's all over Google search. And I know Gemini exists and I think it's a phenomenal AI, but last I saw, they have 5% market share. You've got 70 to 80% of all these AI searches are in a chat GPT app.
Hmm.
This is
Wow.
where it's occurring.
And I
So
actually like Gemini better.
yeah,
I actually enjoy Gemini. I like that the fact it's got this little research button, so it tells me everywhere it's getting its information from. But we're sidetracking. But
yeah.
I think that's great. So what are some of the things that um, dealers should be doing to prepare their sites for AI to potentially have the stuff not done that they're afraid of right now, and that's why they've blocked it, but yet get them exposure as AI becomes more entwined in our lives every day.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of like a three-pillar solution. And so let me just kind of, the first thing is don't block it. I mean, that's step one, and I think that one's easy. Don't block it in any way. Step two is better build your website for the way AI reads information. It's 30 times more expensive for AI to visit your website than Google search, a Google crawler. So it does not go as deep as a Google crawl would go on a website. So you got to make that information easy to read, easy to find on your main pages, your home page, your about us, if you're lucky, your inventory page. When I kind of hit this wall where I was seeing all these sites being blocked, I actually built an AI detector tool so I could just verify my websites weren't getting blocked, that I could quickly tell. And I use that AI detect tool on my Savvy Dealer website just so I can see what the issue is. And if it's hard blocked where the AI can't get to it at all, it'll actually tell you. The other ways is it limits how many pages AI can visit per second. Or another one is it's banned because the AI is in a data center, and some of these providers do not want access from data centers, which used to be a good thing. So the first big step is find out what is wrong with your website and how it's being blocked using either my tool at aidetect.savvydealer.com or another one. I couldn't find one, but I'm sure there are other ones out there. And then really you need a timeline for when your website provider is going to get this fixed. The big danger is ChatGPT 5 now is what we're using, but whether it's ChatGPT 6 or some crazy weird name next, that one is being actively prepared now with the data that's around now. We won't know how we stand in that until that gets released. And so tomorrow there could be a release and the data all shifts within the model. So
Wow.
at this point, we're not seeing consumers just rejecting dealerships en masse, but it's not a stretch when you think of how much money Google makes on car dealers, that ChatGPT, which is spending so much money training these models, isn't eyeing some sort of advertising revenue in the future directly from car dealers. They're not, it's crazy not to think they're going to incorporate find your next vehicle within our system, and then ChatGPT will fill out the lead form or call the dealership on your behalf for the car.
Okay.
These are, it's not a big step to go there.
Yeah, and we keep evolving. I mean, this technology is advancing at such a fast pace. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned, that they've got to change some things in their systems, but the dealership really can't fix this. They've got to go to,
No.
I'm assuming, someone else to get this stuff fixed.
Yes. So it's all on your web provider. You have no control over this. And I think you got to be careful because what web providers will do, and we saw this with mobile. Google came out and said, hey, we're only going to grade you on your mobile website. If your mobile website is crap, you're going to be penalized. And a bunch of large website providers came out and said, well, we reject Google's standard. We don't think mobile friendly is a thing, and we're going to do mobile like. And that's our new standard, and we think Google's wrong. I mean, that's great. You thought Google's wrong. The people that bought that line lost 80% of their used traffic, lost huge
Oof.
chunks of used traffic because Google didn't even listen to what this website provider was claiming, how they felt and where their feelings were. Like Google was a monopoly. And so everyone who felt reassured that this other way to solve the problem. And we're seeing this in AI where we're seeing major website providers come out and say, oh, we have a solution for AIs. We have a new standard we're adopting for AI. Well, what does AI care about that? That doesn't mean
Right.
anything. It sounds nice, but how does that align with how ChatGPT is going to be using the website? They're going to call you and say, we love your standard. We hope everyone does it. So that's the danger I want dealers to be careful of, because there are going to be lots of press releases that, oh, next quarter we're going to get this fixed, and for a nominal fee of $600 a month, you'll be AI friendly. You need independent tools to test it, and if you're not careful, you're going to be the chump with a non-mobile friendly website wondering where the sales have gone.
Okay.
But the AI version.
So in plain English, I'm going to say this,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. I mean, you're very technical on this stuff, but if a dealer is going to call their vendor or their provider, what do they ask? What do they say? Hey, what we've been told that we're being blocked AI, we're blocking our AI. How do we fix this? What do they actually have to ask their vendor to do?
So, and this is why I like an independent testing tool. I, so if it comes back and says your caching tool is blocking all AI access, I need to know when that's going to be fixed. When is that going to be turned off? Hopefully, that's the web provider going into some settings on their server and unchecking some boxes. If they're not giving us a timeline that makes any sense, we may need to look elsewhere. Now if it's things like they're limiting how many pages AI can visit, that's actually a pretty quick fix. But the side effect that these companies are actually worried about, it may double the amount of servers they need to handle all the nefarious AIs they're going to
Oh,
have to let in, because they can't actually identify what's a good AI and what's a bad AI. Like in the old days where it's Google robot good, everything else bad. Like that was the old
okay.
formula.
But that
So
may change in the future. They may be able to identify bad
yes,
AI versus good AI.
yes.
And as we're
Um,
evolving quickly, that might not be that far off.
it may not. I mean, what I think everyone's failing to see, at least on the search side, is that Google's had a 90%, 95% monopoly for 10 years. Everything's been very solidified as to how the internet works. This is shattering that. This is completely changing. It's introducing the Wild West back to the internet. And there's huge opportunities, but I mean, with all the research I've done, I have great theories that we're pursuing and testing, but we really don't know where it all lands. We just know that flexibility and being able to pivot the fastest wins.
So I don't want to go out and tell dealers that, hey, you know what, you need to unblock AI crawlers and everything else going to your website, because there are some negative things that could happen with that. You don't think so?
Nah, not for the
So
dealer, for the web provider.
for the web provider, okay, because what I hear from dealers is that, you know what, yeah, as soon as I allow them to all come in, they now scrape it because all my employees are on there. So now they start to try to steal my technicians. They start to steal my, other people. Obviously they can get it no matter what because it's out on the website, but using AI makes it a lot easier.
Um, it is of so I understand that exists and it's an issue, but I mean, if you really think about it, if you want to steal reps, you go on. It doesn't take long for you to go on every dealership in town and look at their employees' staff page,
Right.
right? And you're not really worried about someone out of state stealing your service guys and dragging them to another state. You're worried about the guys around you. Um, there are ways to scrape this stuff outside of AI. There's ways to get around some of this stuff that nefarious players have been. It's kind of like an arms race where they try and block them and they build an even better tool that can bypass it. AI doesn't do that, but the worst offenders can still bypass all of these tools. We've opened the floodgates ourselves. And really what we saw was a 25% increase in server capacity need, or 25 to 50% increase that we had to just eat, because we're not going to block AI. And then out of that like server cost jump, um, I really have not seen this, even like bad leads, we're not seeing an influx of that. I think this horse has been out of the barn for a while on people taking the data off our website and taking the pricing from our vehicles off our website. I don't think you're accomplishing much. Even if you block all of your vehicle data, you don't think they're scraping it off the third parties, off
Yeah.
the factory sites? Like it's everywhere else. You can actually buy it from a vendor of all the pricing data for all the vehicles, build your own pricing tools.
Well, I think
So
on new vehicles you can. On used, it's a little more of a challenge. But
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, any words of wisdoms that you can part with our dealers to talk to them about AI and about making sure that they open up their websites to it?
Yeah, I think the best thing that I think we should cover, and we're seeing this in real testing, is the world of Google has been very the fun of Google growing a website, 600% overnight because you've cracked their keyword code. That stuff is 20 years ago. But with AI, it's not. There's huge opportunities to be first as these models evolve. And we're seeing it. We're seeing sites that have tripled in size in a year because they retuned their SEO to aim for AI versus just aiming for Google. So
Uh,
there's a huge opportunity. as the world fragments and everything gets disjointed, that we come out ahead. And maybe it's not a permanent come out ahead. Maybe we have a 6-month run where we're the top search result for F-150s in our market when we have no business being that, and then the model changes again. But be flexible. If we're flexible, we just stop fighting the reality that I build websites. Like, that's what I love. I know my website's going to be sending traffic to ChatGPT that I never get to see what happened with it. But if I sell more cars, I don't care.
Yeah, but it's really hard to keep up on this technology. How is
Yeah.
a dealer supposed to know when I mean, you're telling right now by blocking AI, you may not be out of date right now, but you're going to be out of date in a couple of years just because no one's going to be able to access your information because there is a little time delay on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can only speak to I've always developed the kind of the Google strategy for how you attack problems. If you have a better solution, you throw out the old one. Microsoft likes to keep the old stuff going. It's a lot easier
Yeah.
on all their customers, but you have to be willing to live on the cutting edge. And the cutting edge sometimes means you threw a bunch of stuff at the wall and you wasted money on stuff that didn't stick. But if you are, again, this could save us tens of thousands of dollars in advertising if that one thing does stick and work. And it's like everything. I mean, I used to spend 10 hours, 20 hours a week studying SEO and what are the latest trends on SEO and how's it going, and then testing it. You're always testing to see what pulls out. And as soon as you find some win, you expand and push it everywhere. SEO, I mean, AI in search is going to be the same thing. And
Okay.
it's become its own thing, its own acronym to go with all the rest that we have to do. I think what people need to do, and I did this with SEO many years ago, is what's the point? What was it that Google was trying to accomplish that they built all the rules around what they would and would not accept? AI is the same way. They just want to get people to the answer in one search, in one answer. They don't want to ping pong someone through 10 dealerships. They want to find the dealership that aligns with all the things they want and then send them to that store, which means they're going to pick big winners and lots of losers. And so it's a lot of this is just getting everything aligned so we look the best in our fine print, in our reviews, in all the places AI is going to audit us against. And it's just smarter at that than search was.
Okay, awesome. You know what? This is a really complex issue, and
Sorry.
it's hard. Some of us that don't have that technical mind like you do, it's like AI is kind of a scary thing. But Adam, we want to thank you for sharing your insights on this blocking AI issues in dealerships' website. It's like I said, it's a whole new world for many of us, but we're
Yeah.
fortunate to have someone like you that is looking out to help our dealers understand the pros and the cons of AI and how to best utilize it. It's been a fascinating discussion. I'm sure our listeners have gained some valuable knowledge. So thanks for sharing with us, Adam.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, that wraps up today's episode of Up to Speed. Remember, you can listen or view past episodes on our website at bakertilly/dealerships or visit us on Baker Tilly US YouTube channel. So join us next month for another engaging conversation on retail automotive dealerships. Until then, stay tuned and stay up to speed.